The cold rain seemed to seep into Sophie's bones, each drop hitting the pavement, echoing the despair in her heart. It was one of those relentless November days in the city where the sky wore the color of lead and the wind carried the chill of a coming winter. She clutched her soggy cardigan closer, seeking solace from the biting wind that whipped through the canyons of towering buildings. Her phone buzzed incessantly with rent reminders, each notification a sharp jab of reality. The once vibrant city lights blurred through her teary eyes, transforming familiar landmarks into distorted shapes. Her umbrella, a casualty of the strong winds, now hung limply from her hand, offering no shelter from the downpour. The red sole of her shoe, once a symbol of her fiery spirit, peeked out from beneath a puddle, mirroring the turmoil within. As she stood drenched and defeated at the corner of Fifth Avenue and 14th Street, a sea of faces rushed past. Each person enveloped in their own world, oblivious to her silent struggle. It was as if the city itself was pressing on, indifferent to her sudden downfall. Just when the weight of her situation threatened to pull her under, a sound broke through the drumming of the rain, the click of approaching footsteps. She looked up, startled, into the wet hair and hurried gaze of an ordinary office worker. He had a briefcase in one hand and the other was tucked deep into his jacket. Despite his own dampness, he held out a steaming paper cup. "Here," he said, his voice barely audible above the wind. Without waiting for a response, he unfolded an umbrella from his bag, offering the dry side to her. Then without another word, he turned and disappeared into the crowd, leaving her with the coffee and the umbrella. Blinking back tears, Sophie took the offered items, the warmth from the coffee radiating into her numb fingers. The umbrella, though shared, provided a momentary shield against the rain. In that simple exchange, amidst the cold indifference of the city, she found a spark of humanity. It wasn't about the coffee or the umbrella. It was about being seen, acknowledged, and cared for in her moment of need. As she raised the cup to her lips, she realized that the taste of that coffee was the warmest thing she had consumed that day. The man's nameless act of kindness had woven a new thread into the tapestry of her life, a reminder that even in the darkest of storms, a single ray of light could make all the difference. The highway stretched endlessly before Carlos, a ribbon of gray under a sullen sky. The engine of his car coughed one last time and died, leaving them stranded in the relentless flow of traffic. His 2-year-old daughter in the back seat, sensing the shift in atmosphere, reached out with chubby hands, seeking comfort from her mother. "Daddy, car broken," she said, her innocent words echoing the gravity of the situation. Carlos forced a smile, hoping to shield his daughter from worry. He knelt beside her, tousling her hair. "Don't worry, mi amor," he murmured. "We'll be fine." But even as he uttered those words, his heart pounded against his ribs, a trapped bird desperate for an open sky. His phone was dead, its battery drained from the long drive. The miles of passing vehicles offered no respite, only a blur of angry horns and impatient shouts. Time stretched, each minute thick with anxiety. Then through the haze of despair, he spotted it, a weathered pickup truck with a rope dangling from its side. Hope flickered. Maybe he could use the rope to attach to another vehicle and get some help. As the truck pulled alongside, a burly man jumped out, his face etched with the lines of a hard life. He was followed by a woman whose gentle smile belied the strength in her eyes. "Are you folks all right?" the man asked, his voice gruff but kind. Carlos explained their predicament, his Spanish accent coloring his words. "Car broken, no help," he said, gesturing to his immobile vehicle. The man nodded, understanding. Without further ado, he returned to his truck. Moments later, he was back with a coil of rope. Let me see if I can give you a hand," he said, his calloused hands moving with a practiced ease. Carlos, overwhelmed with gratitude, watched as the man secured the rope, hitching it to his truck. With a grunt, the man signaled for his wife. She led his daughter away from the traffic, wrapping her in a warm blanket and offering cookies from a tin box. Carlos couldn't find the words to express his thanks. When the truck started moving, he called after them, but they were already disappearing into the rearview mirror. The sight of his daughter happily munching on cookies and playing with the rope brought a smile to his lips. The couple hadn't just helped them on a mechanical level, they had offered solace, kindness, and a reminder that in moments of crisis, humanity could be a lifeline. The worn tablecloth of the cafe did little to hide the tremor in Emma's hands. The remnants of a forgotten lunch lay untouched on her plate, a testament to her lack of appetite. The windows, fogged with moisture, reflected her own solitude back at her. At 80 years old, she found herself alone in a bustling city, celebrating her birthday in silence. The joy of living had dimmed, replaced by the quiet ache of being alone. Her late husband's absence echoed in the space beside her, a space that had been cold and empty for years. Her children, successful and busy in their lives abroad, couldn't make it home. No surprise, really. She knew that. But still, the sting of their absence was sharper than she cared to admit. As she sat there, lost in her memories, the faint melody of laughter drifted in. Two people at a nearby table were celebrating something, their joy as palpable as if they were family. It stirred a longing within her, a yearning for connection that transcended age. Suddenly, a waitress approached, a gentle smile gracing her face. "Happy birthday, ma'am," she said, placing a slice of cake on the table. Emma looked up, startled, and saw the two people from the neighboring table waving at her. They had overheard her tell the cashier about her birthday. Their kindness, born from an overheard conversation, had painted a smile on her face for the first time that day. They didn't know her, yet they had thought of her. The candle on the cake seemed to flicker in response to the emotions welling up inside her. The couple joined her, and they sang happy birthday, their voices blending with the clink of forks and the murmur of conversations. For an hour or so, she wasn't just a lonely old woman in a quiet cafe. She was Emma, a woman loved and remembered, her life marked by significant moments and meaningful connections. When they finally left, promising to visit again, she felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from her chest. She took a bite of the cake. It was rich and delicious, but it wasn't the taste of the cake that lingered on her tongue. It was the taste of belonging, of human warmth, and of a birthday well celebrated. The train station was a cavernous space, its vast emptiness accentuated by the echoing silence. The departure board blinked with an array of destinations, each one a reminder of someone leaving, of someone departing. It was late at night, the usual hustle and bustle having subsided into a hush. A lone figure sat on a bench, his shoulders slumped, his gaze fixed on the floor. Tariq, a young man barely out of his teens, was grappling with a grief that threatened to consume him. He had just left the hospital where his mother, his anchor to life, had breathed her last. He didn't know how long he had been sitting there, lost in the labyrinth of his sorrow. But the soft touch of a hand on his shoulder drew him from his thoughts. Startled, he looked up to see an older woman with kind eyes peering down at him. She didn't ask any questions. She didn't attempt to pry. She just sat down beside him, her presence a silent acknowledgement of his pain. After a while, she leaned in and enveloped him in a hug, her touch gentle yet firm. In that embrace, Tariq felt a release. The dam that had been holding back his tears finally broke. Sobs racked his body, shaking his frame with the force of his suppressed emotions. The woman didn't move away. She didn't offer platitudes. She just held him, allowing him to grieve, to cry out the pain that had been suffocating him. When he pulled away, his face stained with tears, the woman wiped them with a handkerchief, her eyes filled with compassion. She didn't speak, but her silence was a balm to his raw emotions. In that near-empty train station, surrounded by the ghosts of departing travelers, Tariq found solace in the silent language of kindness. The woman's hug, devoid of judgment or pity, had given him permission to feel, to break, and in breaking, to begin the arduous journey of healing. As the final notes of the piano faded away, leaving behind a profound silence, the stories echoed in the stillness. Like ripples in a pond, they spread outward, touching the hearts of all who heard them. These stories weren't just tales of kindness. They were testaments to the resilience of the human spirit, to the unbreakable bonds of empathy and compassion that connected them all. And in the quiet contemplation that followed, each listener was reminded of their own stories, their moments of struggle and their acts of grace. The music had stopped, but the melody of human connection resonated within them, a melody that would continue to play long after the last chord had faded away.